Welcome back everyone to this new lecture on date time. In this video we are going to see different type of date time data types and also different kind of functions to deal with it. So let's jump into our PG admin tool and explore this topic. Alright, so let me start by giving you some high level overview on various kind of date time data types. Time data type will contain information only for time. Date will contain information only for date. Timestamp data type will contain the information for date and time both, and timestamp TZ will contain the information for date, time and time zone as well. Date time data types are not limited to only these examples, but these are one of the most frequently used ones. And now let's go ahead and try to explore these by executing some SQL codes. So this first piece of code over here, show time zone, will help me to see the time zone with the help of SQL. So I'll select and hit execute, and it is returning the value of my time zone. You also give it a try to check your time zone with the help of this command on your PG admin, and comment the output below, and I would love to go through your responses. Moving on, this second SQL code over here, select now and close within parenthesis, will return me a value for my date, time and time zone as well. So let's select and hit execute. As you can see, it is giving me a value with a timestamp data type with time zone, which has today's date, time and the IST time zone information as well. This next piece of code also returns you a similar kind of information. So if I'll select and hit execute, it is giving me the day, month, date along with current time and time zone. But remember, this time the data type for this information is text, which means this function, time of day, returns you the value containing the day, month, date and everything, but with a data type of text. And let's say you're working on SQL and you want to fetch the information only for current time. In that case, you would use this code, select and current time. Just select and hit execute, and it is returning me the current time when I'm recording this video. It is almost 6:30 in the evening, so I have just completed an 8-hour long shift, and prior to that I also had a long 4-hour session of study and workout. So after this long day, I'm recording this lecture and putting a lot of effort to create this content for you guys. So make sure that you also show some support to the channel by subscribing to it and dropping a like below. Moving on, similar to this current time, current date is also helpful to provide you the information on today's date. So as you can see, on 7th of June I am recording this lecture. So these are some basic functions in order to calculate the date time related information. Now let's move on and have a look on this payment table from the DVD rental database. And this table contains all these columns, and if you pay attention, the last column with the name of payment date contains values with a timestamp data type without time zone. So this timestamp information has a nanosecond level of precision, but let's say you don't need this much of information for your work. All you want is to grab the year from this value. In that case, you can use this piece of code where you are saying select, then extract, which is helping you to extract some information from the timestamp data type, and then you are saying year from the payment date column. And I'm creating an alias over here with the name of payment year for this information that I'm extracting from this payment date, and I need this information from the payment table. So if I'll select and execute this code, this will give me the information only for the year from all the records. The way we tried to fetch year over here, you can also fetch month, and it will show you the value for all the month. I should change this to payment month over here. Okay, let's execute this one more time. There we go. So now we have this payment month column. And in the same fashion, you can also extract the quarter of the timestamp by selecting and executing this code, and it is giving you the quarter. So the second month belongs to the first quarter of the year. If you go to your browser and try to search for date time function on PostgreSQL, the first link that you should get will be from this official website of PostgreSQL. If you visit that page, you will get to see a lot of function on date time, like I see over here. So it has all these functions like age, clock timestamp, current date, and you can try all these functions by yourself on your PostgreSQL. For example, let's try this age function. As we know, this payment date column has these information, and let's say we want to calculate that from these respective values, from these respective timestamps how much time we are ahead at this moment, which means how old these datas are. So you can use this SQL command to get the solution where you are saying select age from this payment date column from the payment table. If you'll select and hit execute, then I'm getting all these values. Of course, these values will be slightly different for you depending on the time when you are performing the execution of this code, and that's how you can play around with these other functions as well. Okay, now let's cover this last topic where we will see that how can we convert a timestamp or date time information into a string data type. So we will use this piece of code in order to do that. So we are saying select, and then we are using this toChar function. So to_char is a function that helps to convert the date time value into a character variable, or you can say a string variable. And within this function you pass in as an argument the date time column and then the information you want to grab from this column. So let's say I want to grab the month from the payment table. If I'll select and hit execute, it is going to return the value of month from all the respective records, and the data type will be a character data type or text data type. You can also convert this month to year if you want to grab the year values, and then you need to pass this argument and then you select and hit execute, and you will get to see the respective years from all the records. Now a question may rise in your mind that depending upon the requirement that what kind of information you want to fetch from the date time values, you might need the hour, minute, day, date, month or year, anything. What kind of argument you should be passing over here at this place. So if you try to do a Google search by date time to string in PostgreSQL, you should get this link from the PostgreSQL documentation, and if you land on this page, you will get to see all the arguments, or you can say list of arguments that you can use within this toCharacter function. Okay, like for example, if I use this HH, it will give me the hour of the day within this 12-hour format. If you will use this argument, then it will return you the year with 4 or more digits. If you are using 2wise, in that case you will get the last 2 digits of the year. Let's try to use this one. So I'll change this argument to this and let's try to execute it. And there we go. For 2007, we are getting only 2 digits for each record. You can also concatenate 2 arguments. For example, let's say I want to concatenate this month and year information. So I can do something like this, month dash year. Okay, let's try to execute this one. And this is how simple it is. Let's do one last example where I'll try to fetch the hour and minute information. So I'll use these 2 arguments within my function. So I'll mention hour over here and minute argument over here. Let's select and hit execute. Okay, so there we go. It will look better if we replace this hyphen with a semicolon. So we will execute this, and now this looks more like a time information. And this is how simple it is to play around with the date time data type and its functions. So I hope you got to learn something new today within this lecture. If yes, please show some support by dropping a like below, and we will see you in the next lecture.